even start. I'm really happy that you're here.
Lower your voice, you're on the strain. Oh my God.
I can't do it lower, darling.
Oh.
So I'm really happy that you're here, and I'm so excited about my new stuff. I just am. Yeah, I can't speak. New media journal. This has been in the works for a very long time. It's been on my wish list since I joined Ranger. And so I'm super excited that it's finally come to fruition thanks to hard work by the Ranger people. Kathy, Kelly, and many others had a play in this journal. So, excuse me, what it is it's a journal. It's about 8 by 10-ish, a little bit. And what's awesome about
I'm just kind of throwing my mic over here so
you can try, yeah. Is it has different surfaces bound inside the signatures. I had a few people come up yesterday and say, oh, you have to put the burlap in? Oh no, you don't have to put anything in. It's there. And so it's really fun. I sat in December, I spent my month of December filling this book. And so please come and flip through it later if you don't have time now. And I found that it seriously reinvigorated my journal making. It made it exciting to me again, because sometimes journaling is like the project that never ends. Do you know what I mean? And this was just so fun. I would turn my page and be like, oh, I'm on canvas. What should I do? Or, oh, I've got to burlap. Oh, do I have an idea? What should I, you know? And it was so fun. And you know, all those tags and little bits and bobs you make, and you're like, what do I do with it? I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a bulletin board. I could pin them and use them, and now they're, you know, instead of just stick and glue, and then if I need it later for a card for my mother-in-law, I can pick it off and send it to her. Do you know what I mean? I mean, just super, super excited. So the surfaces are a handmade watercolor paper from India. It has a very interesting absorbency. There's a cotton content in this paper, and it's probably not like fine art, you know, hot press watercolor paper, but the absorbency is so cool. And it's just fun to play with. So I'll talk more about that in a second. And then we have a burlap, okay? And you can shred it down and cut pockets in it and all kinds of good stuff. We have a thin canvas, okay? And then we also have a craft. And this craft, if we don't do a separate SKU with this craft, I'm gonna be so bummed, because it is heavy. And it's just, I don't know, it's the bomb. It's the bomb diggity. So super excited about all the different surfaces. So let me go back to the watercolor. Now, the absorbency, like I said, is interesting. And I believe in gesso, right? I love gesso. So I gesso a lot, but I would recommend you do some non-gesso and some gesso, because let me show you. Gesso here, no gesso. And so what's gonna happen when you paint on that surface is, if you have a gesso layer, what happens?
It flows.
Yeah,
it slides.
It flows. It doesn't absorb, right? And because this paper is so absorbent, I mean, think of it like a little bit of cotton in there, it is going to grab it. And so your paint will look gorgeous on both. But here it'll grab, and here you have floating available, okay? So I'm going to do the same colors. I'll just paint that there, yeah? I'll paint that here. Perfect. Then I will wet it. So if I soak this one, it's gonna get wet, but it's not gonna float a ton. If I soak this one, it's gonna float away, which is a good thing, right? Because I do all these techniques where I float paint. And so, you know, and then I will be like, oh, you know what that needs? That needs some of that. And oh, I love that. Oh, I'm done. My background's done. There you go. Now you know all my secrets. Then I go cook dinner for my family with these hands. And so it's just really fun. Like, I enjoyed playing with it both ways. I really did. Just such a cool service to work on. So hopefully we can get that as a separate SKU too. Okay. And then let me talk about the canvas a little bit. I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, sorry about that.
So I send the journal to a bunch of different artists, and so you can come look at these other samples, because they use the surfaces in ways that hadn't occurred to me. And I just think this is gorgeous, by the way. This is Kirsten Varga's journal. But what I got, when she sewed on the burlap needle and embroidery thread, but when I got to this page, I was like, wait, she made a painting on the canvas, and I think it's Fude ball pen and scribble sticks. And I was like, oh, I haven't even tried the scribble sticks on the canvas. Oh my word. So I learned that the scribble sticks are amazing on the canvas. And so it made me really excited for possibilities that hadn't even occurred to my poor little pea brain. And that brings me to the scribble sticks. So think of the scribble stick like a solid stick of paint. So there's no wax in here, and they are not going to be blendable with your finger when you color them, okay? But they're going to dissolve with water. And so, you know, if you think, oh, I can't draw, neither can I, but you can color stamped image, correct? So you can take them. I've learned I'm not a colorer, I'm a painter. Coloring, no. So what I'll do is I'll lay a little bit of color down, tiny bit with a scribble stick, and then I just dissolve it. And then look, a card from my mother-in-law. Yay! Done.
Can you make one for mine too?
Yes, here you go. There you go.
Oh, you're so kind.
And so, you know, as a coloring medium, they're fantastic because you can color them light and you'll get just a really light, nice, even coat. Or I can come back hard and I can lay down all this luscious pigment and they're not going to break. I mean, I haven't broken one, and I break all kinds of other types of similar products. I break them all the time because I'm a hard gripper. I hold it hard because I'm used to squeezing my children's necks. Like, why are you doing this? So I have a strong grip, and so these are nice. They're a really nice feel in the hand. Okay.
So they're really firm. They're hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're still. I mean, it's still pigment, so it's not like a pencil.
But it's not slidey,
No.
smoothie. Okay.
No. Come back and make sure you guys come back later. You'll say, I want to try them. I'm going to hand you one of these. I'm going to hand you a tag. You can scribble it. You can scribble in the journal. I mean, just try it. Come back and try, okay? So, I mean, as a way to quickly color images, it's so easy and fun, right? Also, direct to stamp. You can wet your stamp. Stamp, water. We'll have a blue flower. Scribble stick. You scribble all over the flower, and then by the time you're done scribbling, put a few up here. Did I miss
This one?
Yeah. You get the medium on there, and then you stamp, and then you can use it as a direct to stamp medium as well. So just really nice. And then I'm calling them semi-permanent, depending on how much you put down, depends if they'll move again later. So if you do it lightly, and then if you wet it, it's not going to move again later because you've used all the pigment that you laid down. If you do it really heavy and wet it later, it'll pull a little bit. So it, you know, semi-permanent-ish, you know. But the bottom line is, it is a water-soluble medium. So it's not. Somebody said, "Can I do it on canvas and put it in the washer?" I said, "Probably not. I mean, you can test it and let me know, but probably not. But I can come and I can pull that a little bit, but I'm not gonna really, you know." If I spilled my Diet Coke on it, I probably wouldn't ruin it. So that's why I'm calling it that. Okay. And then the scribble sticks are great in the journal as well. On gesso, they're gonna act like paint because it's a stick of pigment, right? A stick of solid paint. So on the gesso, they're going to be able to float away when you wet them. And how would you think they're gonna act on the raw paper? It's gonna grab them. Yeah, they'll stay. It's gonna be just like that acrylic. I can do it, and I can still wet it, and it's gonna look cool. But it's not gonna, you know, and you're gonna retain that little mark, which I love. Here, because I've gessoed, I can like dissolve it completely into paint, right? So I use them both ways. I love these because they write on paint. And not a lot of mediums write on plastic, which is what paint is. And so, you know, if I came to this page and thought, gosh, I like that page, but I sure wish there were turquoise polka dots on that purple. Because these are opaque and they write on acrylic, I can come along and I can put turquoise polka dots on the acrylic. Yay! And then if it's ugly, I can wipe them off. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or, you know, you can get rid of them. So they're super versatile mediums. So please come try them. Another cool new thing are these new media tools, and so I use them a lot on the gel press plates. I use them a lot as mark making tools. I use them a lot to scribble into paint. So if I'd done this and I thought, gosh, I want there to be a little texture right into that acrylic, I can do that. There's a round, a 2 round and 2 chisel. You can use them on the very edge. You can use them in lots of cool ways. You'll see different incarnations of those throughout the samples. They're always on my desk.
So are they hard or do they have like a flex?
They're silicone. They're flexible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they won't damage if you have a gelatin plate or something. They won't hurt it. Yeah. So super fun. We're trying to hit all tastes with our brushes and our tools. So we had long brushes that are great for scrubbing. These ones are a little bit softer now. So these are going to be a little shorter, a little softer, but still strong enough to push the paint around. And detail. Oh, I'm so happy about this one. For fine detail, when you're doing little bitty things, it's a really nice, let me put it on you. It's a nice little brush. So come back and try these as well. So these are new. We're also trying to make the paint less intimidating. People look at those tubes and think, I'm not an artist. Well, guess what? Neither am I. I'm a poser. But I look at a tube of paint and think possibility, but I get that it can be like scary. I totally 100% get that. So this hopefully makes the paint seem a little bit less scary and accessible, and they're clear. So you can see the colors, which is so handy. And look how the colors are just fabulous. I wonder who picked them. No. So I really have enjoyed it. And then they almost have a built-in tip, fine line tip. Not quite as fine as the fine line applicator tip, but still, if I thought, well, now I want to, write with that, I totally could. Scribble and polka dot with the tip as well. And then my cheddar one at home, I used down to nothing, so I popped the top off and refilled it from my tube because I really did enjoy using the little bottle. So this is new as well, so I'm super excited about that. New metallic paint colors. So there are 3 new colors. This one we're calling Rosy. It's like a rose gold. This one we're calling Medieval, like pewter. Think of King Henry VIII's pewter dinnerware, right? And this one we're calling Ancient. So think of Greece, ancient bronzes pulled out of the dig at Greece. So we've got 3 new metallics, and they smell just as good as the other ones. So come sniff them. I know. People are like, I'll be in class, I'm like, here, smell it. And people are like, it really doesn't smell very good. I'm like, it does to me. No. I don't know why, I think it smells nice. But my dad did work for a chemical company, so maybe I'm like, oh, it smells like home. I don't know, it smells like my hometown. There was a store owner in California, her husband was a chemist for an insurance company, and I said, can you let me know if I'm killing brain cells by smelling this? And he's like, no, it's a butyl ether, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, don't talk, just am I killing my brain cells? Okay. So come and push the new metallic colors around as well. New stamps and stencils, of course. Art crack. You think you have enough. You don't. You always need more stamps and more stencils. A little, they just gotta keep you there. They're that undercurrent that keeps it all exciting, right? So that is my new release. Questions? What can I answer for you?
It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Really nice.
I know. Don't you want to make sure you come back and flip through the journals and see different ways of using all this stuff. Just a little design. This gal used it. Look. Isn't that so cool? So new, I've got stuff for backgrounds and foregrounds. Okay, I love Frida. Everyone loves Frida. So this is my homage to Frida. And then little scribbly flowers that I love to do with the direct-to-stamp techniques with the scribbles. My little backgroundy scribbles that go in backgrounds. And then my little scribble women. I've got a lot of cool samples on these 2 boards with all these sets as well. So come and make sure you take a look at boards and in journals and, oop, I dropped my brush. He's like, Mom, you should not choose that one. It's my favorite. Like I know it's very abstract, but I love it. But this yellow is the lemon squeezed directly from this. So I made the large pieces and then I just went like that, squeezed all over and let it, it took it a little while to dry. But yeah, this is made with all of the this stuff. Make a mess, yeah. And the things that I say all the time. And what's nice is that this is the good size for my stamps and stencils, so they fit great in there. And then Diane's large ones will fit in the large size as well. So they're just, I mean, we all have it. We buy all this stuff, and then where do you put it? So, yeah, the journal will for sure. Yeah. So yeah, when you travel, people you can be like, hi. We've got all this really cool stuff. I know they're fun. I have my original art up on my wall that I made. The other group I had no time, and you guys have tons of time. So do anybody want to try the scribble stick? Come up and try it.
Yeah.
Let me move this out.